That compiles my presentation.
So, what is your story?
The story is that there's a one person. He's basically living his normal life, where he's like attending online classes and all. But he get bored in the whole process. So basically, like for a moment, he sleeps in the whole process, and he starts dreaming of a scenario where like basically he's playing some kind of battle royale game, and then suddenly he was, because he was tiptoeing his chair, he actually falls and like hits his head. So after that he's like, okay, I'm very frustrated, I don't want to do this online class. So basically puts the chair away and he brings his uh, blanket and pillow again, and he sleeps.
Hmm. This is you wrote the story,
Yes, sir.
and what was the reason of doing this like on a flat on a like a floor?
Okay, so I actually wanted to. I was thinking about doing it on the 3D environment itself, but because I was the person who has to shoot as well as act in the whole thing, so it became a little difficult or maybe challenging to actually put the camera at different angles and then see if the frame is getting correct or not. So I thought a flat profile would give a very different kind of approach to the whole assignment itself.
Hmm. Also, any story, any poem, it actually tells you something. There is I don't like to say message, but there is something interesting behind telling. Otherwise, why would anybody like to listen? It's like if I say, I was teaching to Nirma student and then I switched on my computer and then not many people were responding and some people's work was very good. And then it was 5 o'clock and we shut the computer and then I went and had tea. Now, what is so great about this story?
Okay, sir, I get your point. Maybe the comprehension has not come very well, but actually, I wanted to show a very funny kind of a scenario where, like, you can see, like, he has put pan on his back. He's like using that mosquito repellent kind of thing to. He's using it as a gun and like a different kind of thing. Like he tiptoes and hits his head. So the whole intention was to like create a very, like a funny environment or like something.
So
Uh,
that part probably you could have used different style. That the dream sequence part
yes,
you
sir.
could have used maybe there are various ways of doing something. Like when you want to highlight on a paper, what you either use bold letters or you underline it or you make it capital letters or you circle it or you make an arrow or you highlight with a yellow highlighter or a pink highlighter. This is how you can grab the attention of people that this is something which you need to see. Now, your story, the interesting part is the dream part,
Dream
isn't
sequence.
it? Yeah. So how do you make it more different from the other? You are wearing this. Probably the clothes are different, but otherwise everything else, your two-dimensional remains two-dimensional only. You could have become three-dimensional. I mean, that's one choice. Or you could have made it black and white, or you could have made it like a three color, red, yellow, green, or something like that. Or the framing could have been different, or it would have been probably in a television screen. Everything would have been put it on something else. So there are various ways you can work on this. So my point is how that doesn't come through unless you tell the story. You understand? Those three frames, actually there are three according to me. I don't know. Yeah, there's one, two, three, which are dream sequence. That is the most important part. Rest of it is like a normal everyday thing. So how do you change that?
Sir, I completely understand your perspective also. I think like I'll put some more creative effort in it and like analyze things much more deeply. Um,
Did you get my
yeah,
message?
sir.
What I was saying?
Of course, understand.
So maybe that's what to do in this. That the dream sequence has to be built up, close-ups, maybe in a different color scheme, maybe doing something else, so that the dream comes through. Like even yes, 2 days ago when I was talking about the flashback, or you want to go back into black and white or sepia. So in a dreamy sequence, what happens? Even if you see a comic strip, when the character starts dreaming, then they change it. Otherwise, how will people know? Otherwise, you'll have to write it down. Now it's a dream. You know.
Makes sense,
Okay,
sir.
show me
Makes
your
sense.
self-portrait.
Okay, sir.
Where are you in this?
Sir, actually, rather than putting my face onto it, I actually put my thinking, my ideology, things that represent me.
Hmm. Okay. You could have even put your
Should I?
fingerprint or something like that. So at least some part of you could have come in it. Otherwise, it's too abstract. Nobody will know this is you. How far did you go? What all did you risk? I mean, this sentence works for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, if Krina wants to add anything.
Yeah, I'll first rather comment on the series that you showed previously. So while it might be interesting, the effort that you made to capture it through an aerial view and that angle, top view. But as I said, maybe certain close-ups, different angles changing, or because you want to emphasize it's a dream sequence, uh, you could have probably a cloth which would have been at the bottom. So I think maybe the marble is not really helping everything stand out that much as you would have wanted, the props and other things that you try to put. So probably a cloth or anything that you'd want to use on a flatter colored background would help you achieve that, and the light would also probably reflect better. And as regards to your, but good efforts on that part. I mean, it was again, but try to use uh, as another subject somebody else and not you in the frame, because the idea is to see what you can capture than you being captured in it. And this particular, I think you could. I don't really want to comment on this. I'd rather see another self portrait and then see what.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, who's going next?
Ma'am, this is Rishabh.
Yeah, Rishabh, go ahead.
Just a minute. This one. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the poem one. This is with the first line.
Rishabh,
Yes,
Rishabh,
please, sir.
just give me a minute, just minute, 1 minute, okay?
Okay, sir.
Rishabh, could you go back to the first one, please?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the self-portrait,
No, ma'am. This is the poem.
and are there more images,
Self.
or is this the one?
No, no, ma'am. There is more. There's
Okay,
more.
okay, okay. Just hold on till sir gets back.
Yes. So,
Sorry.
yes, sir. So this is the poem, sir. This is the first image. Since sometimes I feel empty. So the second one. It's not that I'm always sad, and neither is it that my thoughts don't tire. Like having a jolly good time with my friends, also playing soda lime. Once I'm back in my own company, my feelings seem to bail on me. No matter what I do, I sometimes feel a little empty. This this was the assignment to poem one, which I tried my hand at.
This is a 2 days work.
So actually, one day, sir, I worked yesterday. Day before yesterday, I was unwell, so I was not able to work.
No, but even this is not. This is 10 minutes work. Yeah. I mean, also, it's just like when मैं smiling कर रहे हो, इसमें थोड़ा सा दिख रहे हो, इसमें I mean, this is not. And photographically, what's so great about it? Is this lighting is great? Is your background is fantastic? Is your angle is fantastic? This is a photography course. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And telling story through photographs. So your photograph has to be the world class. Is this something which you send for competition? All of you should think about this. That any photograph you take, if tomorrow there is a photo competition, will you be able to send it in that? So all your photograph has to be A class. It's like 100 में से 100 मार्क आ रहे हैं ऐसा फोटो होना चाहिए. अभी ये तुम किसी भी तुम्हारे कजिन को भेज दो और बोलो कि कैसा फोटो है, तुम्हारा कजिन तो हाँ बोलेगा क्योंकि तुम्हें जानता है, बट किसी और को भेज दो जो जानता नहीं है तुम्हें. What is so great about these photographs? Why did you select this light bluish background? Did you think about it? You wanted light blue or white or black? What would have worked better?
So probably
You haven't thought about all that. What I'm trying to tell you is, you just went and 4 लाइन लिख के उसके ऊपर एक बार हंस लिया, एक बार रो लिया, एक बार खुश हो गए, एक बार बंद कर दिया. This is not an assignment. You are just mocking the assignment actually. If I send this to Sangeeta Shroff, your dean of this thing, will she like this assignment? What do you think?
no, sir.
What will she say? So then why did you do it? I mean, this is not at all anything. And I know matter what I sometimes feel little empty. पहले तो तुम लोग खुद पोएट बन गए, मतलब निर्मा वाले इतने पोएट बन गए जो समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. I should have in fact first day told you that don't write your own poem. तुम लोग एक्चुअली लिटरेचर क्लास में क्यों ज्वाइन नहीं कर लेते हो? इतनी अच्छी पोएट्री लिख रहे हो. Anyway, Reena, you want to say something?
I'm good. I don't want to comment.
Okay. What's your
Next assignment. Yeah, sorry.
Self-portrait, yeah.
Yes, sir. This was the self-portrait.
So what is it?
Sir, I've tried to depict that on the outside, I always put up a tough exterior, and like that's what I show to the world. But from on the inside, I'm not. I'm actually like a very kind-hearted and soft person. That's what I tried to depict in this self-portrait.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Anybody else remember? Everybody is over.
Ma'am, I want to share.
So, Rishi,
Sorry?
Ma'am, I want to
I'll
share.
share.
Who is that?
Okay,
Kanishka.
Kashmir.
Sorry?
Let Kashmir present first. I'll present
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, I'll present. Sir, is it visible?
Yeah.
So, this is the poem I chose.
Okay. You know where Octavia Paz was from?
No, sir.
He was from Mexico. Anyway, go. You read while showing your.
Yes, sir. Just a minute. Yes, sir. So,
While showing your photograph. Yeah.
so, sir, here is a long and silent street. I walk in blackness, and I stumble and fall and rise, and I walk blind. My feet trampling the silent stones and dry leaves. Someone behind tramples stones, leaves. If I slow down, he slows. If I run, he runs. I turn, nobody. Everything dark and doorless, only my steps aware of me, which lead me to the forever street, where nobody waits for, nobody follows me. When I pursue a man, and a man who stumbles and rises and says when he sees me, nobody. Yes, sir.
No, it's nice, but again, you could have shown some close-ups. Some things should have been highlighted. Your light is so low that you shot with flash and thing like that.
Sir,
So,
actually, there was a total darkness over there. I want to shoot in the total darkness.
okay.
Yes,
No,
sir.
it looks quite interesting. It is quite looking quite interesting. But like I'm saying that you could have tried some another, different angles. It's almost same angle, like except for when the feet are coming, then you're gone low. But otherwise, like a very wide because it's like a highway,
Yes,
and
sir.
you could have shown like some lights passing by the car, which you could have long exposure or something would have worked very well also.
So actually, I
Something
wanted
like
to
a
show,
streak of light.
yeah, I wanted to show a silent street where he's walking and it's talking about his life.
No, but then why you just use the highway? You could have gone somewhere else.
Yes,
This is
sir,
like a
but I
big
didn't.
highway.
This was close to my house, so I went here. Everything else
No,
was very crowdy and all.
okay. Okay, show me the self portrait.
Yes, sir. Just I have to click some more pictures. Like I want to change some angles also.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, sir, I'll
Also, when
change.
you put two pictures together, you have to make sure that it works together.
Yes,
Also,
sir.
how much white space you want to put in the middle, the side white space. Graphic design का use करो, composition का use करो, but white space unnecessary sort of creates a different, negative space. I don't know you people were taught negative space. There's
Yes,
something
sir.
called negative space and a positive space.
Yes, sir.
When you write A in a letter on a page, there is a space around the A that creates
Yes.
certain thing. So here that white bar in the middle creates a different kind of composition.
Yes,
So you
I'll
have to
try
think
to
about all this.
create it. Yeah.
Okay, show the
Sir.
self portrait.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'll have to reshare.
Okay.
Um, sir, is it visible?
Yeah.
So,
What are you trying to say in there?
so this is like when I'm taking some decisions or I'm confused, I feel like falling. So I've try to show like with the phone, I'm catching something, but I'm not able to.
Hmm. Okay.
Shall I stop sharing?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So, in this one, especially the self-portrait one, it seemed as if phone is falling. But if you wanted to represent yourself falling, then perhaps something else would have been much more appropriate than a phone falling, because that isn't really conveying, uh, it's more
Yeah.
of that object than you. As opposed to that previous assignment, it was interesting to see what you had captured. But
Yes.
I think what Sir was also trying to tell you is that the images seem very dark. So only when there is emphasis somewhere, the darkness will be highlighted even more. Otherwise, it just seems like a flat dark image. So if whether it's you walking or the face, so if you emphasize that part, so that is through editing also that you could do. That if you
Yes.
highlight a certain portion or certain aspect within your image, then the
Yes.
darkness is kind of shown more attention to.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Yeah.
because that is how you'll be able to build a certain contrast also. Though it
Yeah.
was an interesting attempt and you didn't choose to have yourself in it, uh,
No, ma'am.
so that was good, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
But
sir.
try to take the self
Okay.
portrait again.
Yes, ma'am.
This
Sure.
cannot. This shouldn't be your submission.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
I'm sure.
Who's sharing?
Kanishka.
Kanishka, did you present yesterday?
No, ma'am, I was absent.
Okay.
So, this was the poem. I'll read it out as I move forward.
Okay.
Head of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of his friend. He referred to the dates on a tombstone from beginning to end. He noticed that first came the date of her birth and spoke of the following date with a heavy heart. As he said, what mattered the most was the dash between those years, for it represented all the time that she spent alive on earth. And only those who knew her knew what that line was worth. For it mattered not how much or what she owned, the cars, the house, the cash. What mattered was how she lived and loved, and how she spent her dash. That's it.
I'm little bit confused that initially you're talking about a death and then there's the whole, a black polythene bag which has been tied up as if, the remains have been
So,
kept inside or something like that. And slowly you move to different kind of numberings and codings and all that. And then you reveal to Nutella.
yeah.
So I'm just trying to understand what was that black bag for first two, three picture doing?
So that was like the polythene bag, the dustbin bag that we use. So basically, I'm trying to show the depth process of a product over here. So you have all the expiry dates and the manufacturing dates and the barcodes. Okay, and so basically the death of a product is usually signified when we put it in the trash can. So I started. That is how I've started.
But still, that sort of happens in the last. Why did you start with the beginning?
Because that is how my poem went. Like there's a man who stood up, so I'm trying to depict the scene of a funeral first, and so like there's a man who tried to speak about the journey of the girl, and I'm trying to depict it in the sort of a product.
No, I understand that it's about product and the journey of product, and it's a beginning to end. But
I could go back to the starting.
mm,
Okay, so I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of his friend. So I wanted to show the scenario of a funeral, and for products, it
no,
is usually
but one doesn't know about that you are going to go and talk about Nutella. So I'm thinking of somebody else, actually person's funeral. What I'm saying is that this bag doesn't show me that there is Nutella thing there, unless it was shown like a garbage can. You see, then people wouldn't have thought like that. If you had shown a garbage can here, and probably a Nutella jar thrown in that or something like that, or slowly, I mean, some hint, not the pure, only N or something you can see, or a
okay. Yeah.
part of
Okay.
a bottle. Otherwise, this takes me to real death of somebody at the funeral of his friend. Now, Nutella is not somebody's friend. A product normally is not a friend.
Okay.
Understand?
Uh,
So, and like the line takes you to an actual living person until you start then talking about only about Nutella. You understand what I'm saying?
okay. So
It's misleading you. What is the second one? That also is black. This thing only.
yeah. So it has the dates.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So this also it just but normally the garbage bag doesn't have dates. This dates your put your
Yeah.
stuff. The garbage
Yeah.
bag don't have. In fact, it can look like your camera has put these numbers on, not dates. You understand what I'm saying? This doesn't look like natural.
So I could change
Because you have gone
the
literally and you started writing, he referred to the dates on her tombstone. So date लगा दिया आपने. You see, that's what I'm trying to say. That if people just take so literally everything that you want to tombstone that वो कर दिया. Funeral तो उसका funeral दिखा दिया. Though you have gone and not shown funeral of a thing, I'm saying that sometimes you should give the audience your communication whom you are going to do, that will they be able to understand what's happening. It is a surprise maybe, but even at the end of the thing I realized that you are talking about Nutella's date is over, but these two things didn't fall. I didn't understand this at all.
I could rework on the beginning part.
Maybe these two frames you need to work on. Yeah?
Yeah.
Show me your portrait.
Yeah.
But your photographs of all the close-ups are very nice. The person eating, licking, those with the fingers, all those are very interesting. It's nicely done. A lot of people have aesthetically not done great photography, and you have done a good job there.
Thank you, sir. This is my self-portrait. So over here, I'm trying to depict how I like exploring different mediums, and as I do that, I'm trying to come up with what is going to be my next adventure. And I try to find my inspiration in organic or natural forms, and in most of the things that I do, there is some sort of elegance that I try to work on.
Okay. Rina?
I'll stop sharing. Ma'am, any suggestions?
So the for the first assignment, I'm not too sure if I really could understand as a whole. Just a second. Yeah, sorry. The for the first part, as I said, it didn't really communicate much to me, and there were certain contrast where, as Sir also pointed out, that you're starting with the black polythene bag, and then it's suddenly from object driven. There's a human. So first, you're trying to build a certain you're symbolizing it, and then the barcodes and all of that coming in between. Uh, the kind of frame that you chose, I don't know if that really had an impact, um, because you would have chosen to do or capture that barcode also if you wanted to in a different way. Maybe that could have been only focused and other things around it could have been blurred out on the product. That was another way of going about it than just capturing the barcode. I mean, that doesn't seem like a pleasant image to look at. Um, Secondly, the close-ups also that you had done for the later part, I thought it could have been worked out differently. That is how, because it didn't really speak to me. But maybe that is how I perceive it. And the self-portrait also, I don't know. You could have explored a little more. Did you just do that option, or did you explore any other option other than what you just showed us?
I tried exploring a bit and I found that this was the most suitable one.
Okay, and why was that? Like, if you had to justify, why was the one you chose
Um,
communicated the most to you?
because I feel like the major part of me is that I'm more of an artistic person and I've been more inclined towards that majorly, and that spoke to me.
Okay, then perhaps what you chose to have in the frame would be different, because the things were lying, and but however you were looking at the outside, so it's almost as if you're not with it and you're setting yourself apart from it, but it was just part of the frame to aesthetically make it look pleasing. So I
Okay,
don't know,
could
maybe
work
the
on it as well.
arrangement. Sorry.
I could work on it as well.
Yeah, so
I
maybe
like
the
this.
arrangement, the kind of arrangement that you did uh, could have been dealt differently, because you viewing on the outside and your work around you doesn't really represent you enjoying it as much. So maybe a different way to show that would be better.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else who's yet to present, or is everybody done presenting? Because I think we still have 6, 7 of them who've not presented till now. Even yesterday they've not presented, nor have they presented today, and they are going to be marked as not submitted. Even if you do it on the final day, I don't think we'll count that as a submission. Is that right, sir? We don't count
Yeah,
that as a submission, right? Because
yeah,
they've not presented or shown
right.
it to us at all.
Yep.
So, sir, I have around 34 students who've shown. I don't know if you've got the number with you as well. There are 46
No,
students in
I
total.
maybe
So,
I have to count it. I don't know. I have
okay,
not
okay.
counted.
Anybody else who's present here and who's yet to present or has not done their work?
Because there must be 40 people here already.
Yeah, there are 40 students here. So, I don't know if those 6, 7 who are yet who've not done it, are they here or are they not here? Okay, they're not responding, so I'm asking
Ma'am,
you to. Yeah, who's that?
ma'am, can I present? Ma'am, Anushka.
Okay, Anushka has not presented yesterday.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So Anushka and who's that? Samriddhi. Uh, Please be a little more proactive when we are asking you these questions. Even in the first half, I didn't see your names. And if you're still working, then I'm sorry, that's not really fair on other students because the time that they have gotten and the time that you've gotten to do is so at least we are going to grade you accordingly. And be proactive when I say to mention at least that you've not done it and you're doing it now or to inform us. So you can go ahead and present. And Samriddhi can go after you.
Yes, ma'am. Is it visible?
Yeah.
So, take up one idea, make that one idea your life, think of it, dream of it, live on that idea. Let the brain, muscles, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea. And just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success, and this is the way great spiritual giants are produced. Others are mere talking machines. That's it. I have to click two more photos. Actually, I tried to find my sparkle lights, but I'm not able to find them. So, still, I have to click two photos.
Yeah, there are two blank frames you have.
Yes, sir.
Mm. Okay. Can you show your other assignment? Self-portrait.
Yes, sir. This is my self portrait.
What is it?
So, I'm kind of lazy and sleepy girl, so I'm sleeping on sofa. Sir, you are
Sir,
on
you're
mute.
on mute.
Sir, you are still on mute.
Your sequence assignment. You can go back to it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can just go on. Mhm. Yeah. So these are interesting. You played around with light, which is very interesting. In all of them, there is a continuation. In fact, I've been telling about this to a lot of people that they are disjointed. There is no obvious connection between first to second to third to fourth image. And in your case, the light has remained as a source, whether it's in the hand or whether it's on the top, which is going on, which is a nice part. But I wish those two pictures were there too, because
Yes, sir.
I can't sort of, yeah, so I can't make out what. You could have just even, taken from something from that and put it and said that this is something like this, I want to do it, which I am not yet photographed. So then we could have, seen it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, this again, the sequence part is interesting. And as opposed to the self portrait, I don't think we can consider that as a submission. You sleeping or you liking to sleep is not really a self portrait. So,
Sorry to say, it can be. Only thing is that, it's not been thought about properly.
yeah.
You see, there is a thinking of some people who might be call themselves kind of not lazy, but kind of lethargic type of people who are slow and in life, and They just want to be relaxed. You know, they're not like go-getters. They're all the
Yeah,
time on the
yeah.
edge. There are people like that. But
It
this
needs
is
to
just
be
like
thought.
being
Yeah,
picture.
it
Yeah,
needs to be
yeah.
thought about. It cannot just be done. Even that has a different way to be portrayed. So, which is why you can have the same concept, the idea, but how you conceptualize it
Yeah, but
should be different.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
so Samruddhi, right?
Yeah. Yes. Kindly write your names. Don't write that I am yet to present or I would like to present next. In the chat box, please write your names. So after Samriddhi, Vivek is going to present. And why haven't you done it? You haven't done your work or you haven't presented? Okay, so Sir Samriti is having some technical issues. So what we'll do is we could look
Okay.
at her work. She can email it to us, and we will look at it and just give her a review over email.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, Vivek, in that case, you
Ma'am,
can
this
go
is
ahead.
Vivek. Can I present now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, one can see it.
Yes, sir. So, the poem I had chosen was named "Satisfying Rain." So I basically chose an environment. I chose a setting. Since it rains over here in Indonesia, so I thought I would just choose doing my storyboarding on that. So this is "Satisfying Rain" by Bill Hornwell. So after days of hot sun came down the rain. I watered the garden. It watered the garden and flowed down the drain. In less than 5 hours, the month's quota met. The news had reported a record was set. The drink was welcomed by the parched earth, ending the dry spell in Perth. But soon people complained about getting wet. They wanted the sun. How soon they forget. We are never satisfied with what we get. We want 24 degrees with the sky that is blue, and earth in the morning, and rain in the morning for an hour at two. We should be grateful for the sun and rain, make the most of it all, and do not complain. When things don't happen, which we can't control, leave it in his hands. It's a part of his goal. So that was it.
So this you shot in last 2 days, all these pictures?
Yes, sir. Like I was waiting every time it rained. So yeah, in the last 2 days.
So also,
Like in the
you
morning,
placed
sometimes
it
it
in
was.
sometimes you placed it in a three in one page, sometimes two, sometimes. I'm just trying to understand how graphically, and the fonts are big and photographs are small. I'm just trying to, you see, it's a photo assignment. So you need
Yes,
to
sir.
entice person and attract person with your photographs. And the photo should be like a full page.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
I don't know why you have layouted like this. I have no idea. How does this help?
Yes, I
Uh,
will
so
work on the layouting.
yeah, layout you have to work, and also one photo has no meaning with another. It's like again, it's very literal when things do happen which we can't control. Now, I can guarantee you this line I can put it on any photograph and it will work. Why this for flower only?
So because of the rain, it broke on its own, and we couldn't control the way it broke and
No,
collapsed.
so that will work in the your this rainbow also it will work.
So we can see
Go back.
rainbow. We can see
You
the
go
rainbow
back.
as the
Go back.
outcome. Yes, sir.
No, so everybody can see differently. No, what I'm saying is when you put a line, when things do, we should be grateful for the sun and the rain. Now this line can be put anywhere you want. When out of 20 pictures, you can put it on at least 10.
Yes,
Why
sir.
does it work only on a rose?
So because I kept it on the rose because I tried to make it seem as if because of the sun and the rain, a rose grew out to be an out.
No, so rainbow happens because of sun and the rain.
Yes, sir.
So there also you can put it.
Yes, sir.
What I'm saying is that it should be that this thing will work only for this. That's how it should be. कोई भी photo कहीं भी लगा दो, that doesn't work to me. And these are like any picture from the net, you just take it up and just put it down one after another. You know, there is nothing, there is no story as such. This is not, if I remove these lines, what will the story tell me? Just see from the
So,
first picture. Go back. Go back. Yeah. So how this picture connects to anything except for the rain part, there is nothing connects. It's only the rain.
yes, sir.
So you have to create something which connects to each other. You see, visual storytelling is not about not connecting. It's all about connecting. Okay, words can help connect more. Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
try and do something more editing and probably more shooting. Try and do something more. So this is
Yes,
not
sir.
enough. Also show me the self-portrait.
Yes, sir. Is my screen visible? Can you see my screen, sir?
It's showing the same thing.
Oh, yeah. I'll
The first,
share
second,
it again.
like you
I'll
reshare.
share it again.
Yeah.
Can it be seen now?
Eh, yeah.
Yes, sir. So this is basically a self-portrait of mine. I made it this way because I'm more of a person who is interested in swimming and sports. That's why and that's how this picture characterizes me. I made a pose like this just to show that I'm active and I would like to face new challenges and I'm ready
Okay.
to face what is coming towards me.
Hmm. Okay.
Yes, sir. Should I stop sharing?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else? All over?
Uh, there are a few who are pending. As I said, they're not here. So I think we're going to take that as nobody's left anymore and mark them as not submitted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today there are about 5 people missing. I think we have only got one email saying I can't attend or something like that. There are
I
five
think
people are not here.
maybe they've not marked you. I've got one or two more. So the
Okay.
6 students are missing from the session right now. There are
So they are
46 in
showing
total.
42.
46 are there in total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then let me share my work which I wanted to show you. And I want to start with a video which will allow you that how you can shoot. When you have to shoot something, this is an interesting video that with a very well-known photographer goes out with a ballerina and tries and shoot. So how he shoots?
I am standing here with Stephanie to see how many awesome.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Can you see it? Yeah.
I am standing here with Stephanie to see how many awesome shots I can get in 10 minutes for the. Wait, no, we're not ready to do that yet. We already did it. We did it. We just did the 10-minute photo challenge and it was freaking awesome. And
So
if you look
cool.
at Stephanie, you will see evidence of what happened. But you gotta wait 1 minute because first I want to introduce you to perhaps the most inspiring dancer I've ever met. And I want her to tell you a little something about herself. Her life story is going to blow your mind, and then you are going to watch a very cool 10-minute challenge. We are at the Cohen Children's Medical Center. Why are we here?
So I am a cancer survivor, and this is where I was treated. I was diagnosed with stage 3 germ cell cancer in December of 2015. And I was treated here at Cohen's, where I had my chemotherapy, and they pretty much saved my life. They're part of my family. I was 11 at the time. I was very scared of dying pretty much. So I was dancing throughout my treatment every single day. I even told the nurses I had to get out earlier at a certain time so I could get to class. I wasn't hearing no for an answer. I had to go. And the doctors still say today that dance saved my life.
Stephanie is an ambassador for the Children's Miracle Network. So my idea with this photo challenge is to bring her back to the hospital where she recovered and was cured of cancer, and I want her to bring joy to everybody in this hospital. We are here to see how much joy we can spread in 10 minutes for the 10-minute photo challenge. One of our brave survivors, Olivia, will be doing the timing today. When I say go, I'm going to want you all to hit a superhero pose, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Like you're the biggest superhero. Go. Yes, very, very good, guys. Give me high fives, everybody. Give shot. May I take a photo in here, please? Oh, you're gonna come out with a big jump? Okay, excuse me, everybody. And go. Good. Oh, that was really good. And go. Good. Okay, that was great. Put that away. Superheroes. All right. I want you to get down there and snuggle him. Can you do this thing where you go over? Go. And go. Okay. All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, start. Does a dance? Okay, just then forget this thing. Let's do a dance. Oh, that was awesome! Yes, we're gonna get these out. Look at this. Look at that. Yes. Okay, can somebody speed up this elevator? Okay, so we're going to the floor where you had outpatient?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know each other? That's awesome. Okay, this is where you got treatment. You are happy to be leaving. You're happy to be leaving. You're doing a jump. You're doing a stag jump. You're jumping out of here. You're going that way to the exit. 1, 2, 3, go. Yes. Oh, that's really good. 1, 2, 3, go. Good, good, good. Those were awesome. Really good jumps. Okay. Do you mind if I give this little girl a toy? You want to be in a photo with her? Yeah? And then do you want this? Does this look fun to you? Okay, cool. Go up on your toes. Okay. You just sit right here and take it.
I think what you need to see is that how the cameraman is operating himself and how he's talking, how he's organizing, how he's creating a rapport with other people. So that's what you need to do when you want to shoot something. You can't be so, like lethargic. Most of you sound like you are lazy, alone, lonely, sleepy. Look at this guy.
Come here. Big, huge smile, please, and go. Bigger, bigger. Yes, that's so great. Good, we got that. Amelia. Okay, let's go, let's go. Is there a playroom around here somewhere? Does anybody have a playroom? Oh, she knows the whole place. Okay, can you take me there, Olivia? Great. Okay, go, 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 go. What are you guys doing? Do you have a paint party? Paint party! You want to do a paint party? Awesome. Can you do this thing where you're bam and arching back? Yeah, and everybody is splattering paint on Stephanie. I don't know, like that. Like that, right? Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go back. Good, 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 good. Go. One, two, three, go. Yeah! That's awesome. Good, good. Now lay down in that. Oh, that looks really actually wonderful. Okay, thank you. We got gifts for you guys. Did you have fun getting there totally detecting things? I had a lot of fun. You know what I didn't think of? We gotta do the rest of the challenge with you in paint. She's your favorite? Go for it. Can I give you a hug? Thank you so much.
No
That was great.
problem.
Did you enjoy yourself? Yeah. Good. I enjoyed it too. Thank you. I'll come back and help clean this up. You don't have to clean up our mess. Turn around. I want you to just do a dance position. I'm only showing your feet. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Good, good, good. How did you let that happen to you? We haven't said thank you to the nurses yet. Hello, nurses. Are you? I don't know. You're a medical professional somehow, right? We want to say thank you by giving you an opportunity to show the world that you can dance. Okay? Can you get up, please? Oh! They're gonna do it. Do you think you're gonna miss this opportunity? Come here. Do we have anybody else? Would you like to be in a photo? Come on over. This is Stephanie. For those of you who don't know her, she's a cancer survivor. She was cured here. We're celebrating the joy of that for everybody else. Just dance, dance, dance. Have fun. 1, 2, 3, jump. Go. Good. Okay, thank you so much. Awesome. And thank you every day for everything you guys do. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Okay? All right, let's go. Let's keep going. There's ice cream. Ice cream to be had. More ice cream. Come on, let's have ice cream. Who wants ice cream? I do, I do. Hello, everybody. Boy, this is a big crowd. Who in here wants ice cream? Raise your hands. I want ice cream. Excuse me. Right here. You guys come over here. 3 minutes. Free ice cream for everybody. Bam. All right, next. I want to do a photo in here. Who wants to be in a photograph? Okay, awesome. Okay, do you know how to play drums? You're going brrr, okay? All right. All right, you want to be in the shot? Okay, you want to be in a shot? Okay, come on out. There you go. You're constructing a shot. You're the guitarist. You're going to jump off of this. Hold on. Do a jump where your legs go out or something. Time! You're going like this. Yeah! Okay? You're going to rock out, kick forward, go, wow! Oh my God, yes! That is great. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Look. Wow! Look. Whoa! Okay? Rock it out. Loud thing and rock it out. Let's go! Like this. I want to have rock and roll here. Okay, ready? Go! Go! Yes, one more. Up! Good, one more. time. That was awesome. I want to say, guys, everybody who's in this room, I just want to tell you how truly impressed I am with you and how much you are going to inspire me every day moving forward. Honestly, this has been an incredible thing to get to know all of you a little bit, and I hope to get to know you more. And just keep up a strong fight. Take inspiration from Stephanie. You guys are amazing, strong superheroes, so just know that every day. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having us. I'll take a hug. Way to go. That was awesome. Yeah. If you like the message of that video, I encourage you to create your own video to see how much joy you can spread in 10 minutes. Email it to me at that email address, and I will repost one of them. Thank you very much.
I can't find where I was sharing.
Sorry?
Well, that video is somewhere gone. I don't know where I can find. So basically, what I wanted to tell you was that, you know, if you have to take a photograph, you can't just be very, simple. You have to be very proactive. You have to sort of meet people. You have to, energize them. You can't just be, simple, okay, मैं कर लूँगा, it's an assignment. That kind of thing doesn't work. I'll just show you some other photographers' work.
Now, two photographers aim to capture the richness of
Yeah.
real life. But before they
Sir,
get
there's this option for optimizing for video when you share, so that will be very much better for us to watch it. Right now, we can only see frame by frame.
Okay, one second. What is that? It's a.
Akhil, what were you saying? You're not able to hear the audio?
No, like when you share the screen, like you have to unshare it first, and when you share the screen, there will be an option on the top to optimize it.
Yeah, I think he's done that.
Okay, then the internet issue.
Yeah, it must be the internet. Yeah, because otherwise we won't be able to even hear the audio. So could you stop sharing and just check once if it is in the optimized?
Okay.
Yeah. So when you just press share at the top, we had done that, right? When you just hover over, click on it, there'll be a drop down menu.
Motion and video.
Yeah.
In the early 1900s, the general population in those years had very little understanding of what was meant by child labor and child exploitation.
So I think there's some background noise which is coming. I don't
The
know
kinds
if
of
it is.
jobs you would find children working in ranged
Is
from
that
the
from your end?
mines.
Is it some student?
What background noise is
There's
that?
some, I don't know, some probably some carpentry work going on, or I don't know. There's some.
Yeah, there is some nearby. There is a construction going on. What I can do is, how would I? I'll mute it. I'll mute it.
Factories, the cotton mills, to working out on the streets selling newspapers. Injuries, even deaths, were very common among children. The parents would often say that they needed the income that their children brought in, that that was what allowed them to continue to survive. A number of parents were advocates for child labor, and their children thought that that was the way life was. One of the first things the National Child Labor Committee did was to hire a photographer. They hired Lewis Hine, who was then their photographer for the next 2 decades. They sent him around the country to identify, find, and photograph children in exploitative situations. He promoted himself as a Bible salesman. He said he was bringing his camera along so he could photograph kids reading Bibles. A boy would say he was 13 when in fact he was 11, or a girl would say she was 12 when in fact she might be 9. The photograph is of a young girl, 10 or 11 years old. Her name was Sadie Pfeiffer, at a cotton mill in Lancaster, South Carolina. She's standing in front of a large loom on a long hallway, staring at and working hard on the job of selecting the quality products. She's probably worked most of the night. It's nearing the end of her shift. She stands there, iconic, as a representative of hundreds of other girls who are being treated just like her and who have no choice. That photograph raised the consciousness immediately. You see that photograph and you cannot look away from it. It doesn't say America. Lewis Hine's stark photographs influenced legislation over a period of roughly 35 years. This body of work on child labor represented how he thought and how he felt that children must not be exploited. He represents social advocacy, social change in the first half of the 20th century.
The art of photography has undergone a radical transformation in the last several decades, with traditional film giving way to digital, and sparkling images created and shared in an instant from the phone in your pocket. But there are some photographers who remain convinced that the old ways are worth preserving. One of them is Oregon's Christopher Burkett, who works slowly and patiently to create some of the highest resolution photographs ever made. NewsHour Weekend Special Correspondent Joanne Elgart-Jennings has our story.
From blueberry fields in Maine to swirling veratrum plants in Alaska to a lone cottonwood tree in Utah and resplendent leaves at sunset in his native Oregon, Christopher Burkett has been photographing the American landscape for over 4 decades. He and his wife Ruth have lugged their camera gear across all 50 states.
What we usually do is we go to a place that looks like it has photographic potential, and then we stay there until we don't see any pictures, and that might be half an hour, it might be a week.
On this day, that won't be necessary because we're just in their backyard in Milwaukie, Oregon. Burkett is demonstrating his 8x10 camera. It's the same type Ansel Adams favored for his landscape photography. Burkett says it provides the ultimate in image quality.
It is awkward, it's heavy, it's a struggle with depth of field, struggle with wind motion, But if you get an image, you really have something really in-depth to work with.
When Burkett looks through his lens, he says the world he sees is one of indescribable beauty.
If you're really trying to work with photography, you find out real rapidly that seeing things and photographing them can be quite different. And in fact, you have an image that is, from that viewpoint of the camera, is actually higher resolution than you normally experience the world from that viewpoint and that angle. So you have essentially a certain element of, I can't really call it super realism because it's real, but it's more real than what we normally see.
He says he wants to make both the physical and the ethereal accessible.
And to me, again, that's the whole point of doing it, is to, it's not just to present a pretty picture, but to present something that shows people something that maybe they haven't seen or experienced, and something really worthwhile.
Light and luminosity are critical elements of Burkett's work.
That's what photography is all about, is writing with light. And when you go up to the print, I want light to come out. You know, you don't have to go find it, it's coming out. When I'm looking at a scene, I know what I'm seeing, but then I look to see where the light is coming from and what that color of light is. And many times in photographs, what makes things come alive are opposite colors illuminating a scene, because you get more shape and more color differentiation.
For Burkett, photography is not just an artistic, but a spiritual experience that's informed by his religious faith. As a young man, he spent 7 years as a brother in the Eastern Orthodox Church.
I would come out of church sometimes after communion service, and I would see light in the world, you know, really truly see light in the world, and I knew it was real. And if it was real, then I figured maybe there was some way I could try to photograph that.
Burkett has also studied meteorology, geology, and functions of the human eye, all to advance his photographic skills. But capturing the images is just one part of the process. Burkett is one of a handful of photographers printing from color transparency film onto a now discontinued paper called Cibachrome.
And it's the only paper that was ever made that had the dyes in the paper when it was made. The processing takes away all the unwanted dye, and you're left with the image itself, which is completely stable because there's no chemical residue in there, there's just dyes in the paper.
Cibachrome was first sold in the 1960s. As photography shifted from using analog film to digital image sensors, many professional photographers abandoned the technique, but Burkett continued to embrace it. In 2011, when the company stopped making Cibachrome, Burkett bought a 10-year supply of the paper.
It's amazing that everything is in focus. It's like you're bringing us there. How do you get that depth where it's, I can, see the bottom of the water there?
Cibachrome has that depth to the image where I don't think any other print material would have that kind of, not just luminosity, but almost seems physically deep, you know. I've had people at gallery openings even kind of go like this to make sure you haven't glued something on the top of the print.
These days, Burkett spends most of his time focused on printing in his studio. He walked us through the elaborate process. One step is called masking.
We make a black and white negative that this is going to be sandwiched with this, and this is going to determine the overall contrast of the print.
Then he adjusts the color.
And you get exactly the right color balance, and then even the slight opposite colors, let's say in the veins of green on a green leaf, will start to pop, you might say, or become more luminous.
And that's when you know you've got it.
Yeah, that's when you know you have it.
But it's the next step that Burkett says is the most crucial.
So the light is being projected onto the paper. I'm withholding light by my dodging tools, which is going to darken those areas, and I have to keep the items moving to get a smooth edge so there's no evidence of the darkening of little bright areas.
The process is then reversed with a tool that allows in more light and brightens certain areas of image. An exacting dance photograph to a score which Burkett arranges quickly.
Plan out ahead where one goes first, someone goes in partway there, move it to another one, then both of them here and both of them there.
How important is timing in this process?
Well, it's extremely important. Sometimes just in the dodging, half a second difference, plus or minus, and the print's no good, just in one little area.
It usually takes Burkett about 8 hours to make all adjustments he needs to perfect an image. And when it's finally finished,
We take the print like this, we take it over here very carefully.
Burkett is keenly aware that he has a limited supply of Cibachrome paper, which degrades over time. So he's racing the clock, trying to print as many images as he can before the chemicals in paper lose their effectiveness.
I'm still figuring out how many of different images I want to print as kind of a legacy of my work. And there are many times I'm printing images now in certain sizes that I know that that's the last time I'm going to print those in that size. So it's kind of a gradual winding down.
While Burkett says he has enormous respect for the work others create with digital photography, once he runs out of his printing paper, he'll hang up his camera.
I also realize there's going to be one day when I leave the darkroom and I turn the lights off, and that's the last time I'm going to be in there. So that's a difficult thing, because I love what I do, and going out and photographing is one thing, but spending time and bringing
Photography has undergone a radical transformation in the last several
years. That I'm just in the dodging and there are many times I'm printing images now in certain sizes that I know that that's the
For the work others create with digital photography, once he runs out of his printing paper, he'll hang up his camera.
I also realize there's going to be one day when I leave the darkroom and I turn the lights off, and that's the last time I'm going to be in there. So that's a difficult thing, because I love what I do, and going out and photographing is one thing, but spending time and bringing the light out of these images and to share with other people is really what it's all about.
The art of photography has
Sir, you are on mute.
So in the first video, in 10 minutes, the photographer was trying to create a rapport with a lot of people in the same hospital in different departments, with a one ballerina patient who survived, cancer survivor, and just goes and photographs all these people. And this one is a slow process, and it's a very old process which he is doing and slowly doing, going to different places and creating a different kind of imagery. So what I'm trying to say is that photography in any of your assignments, you can't just say that, I just clicked it. You can't just do 5-minute job. You have to think about it. What is your background? What you are wearing? Is this the shirt really I want, or something else? Is this the hairstyle I want? So or your subject. I mean, some things is not in your control. Like when you go out and shoot, where there is a lady selling balloon, or somebody selling pani puri, or somebody selling pakoras or chai. There you can't do much. But then what to include, what to exclude, how far you want to go, what all you want in the frame. You have to think about it. You can't just be so casual about it. The unfortunate part is that you all have the phone, and the phone has made you click things very casually. It's like it's there. Like everybody can eat ice cream anytime right now. 30 years ago, that was not possible. I mean, there were ice cream available, but people would be eating. If you ask any of your father or mother or grandparents, they will say, "Oh, we used to go on vacation and have ice cream." Now, ice cream is everybody's fridge. It's there in the home every day. Like you can eat if you want. So the same kind of issue you have in the photograph. You need to be a little more serious of doing something. Anyway, I want to show one more video. War photograph.
This photograph exemplifies the harsh reality of war. A U.S. Marine experiences an extremely close call from a Taliban attack, the dirt wall protecting him exploding from an enemy bullet. We can see that this soldier is in danger, but what about the person who took the photo? The person standing feet away from this nearly fatal firefight? It makes you wonder, is it worth it to risk your life just to get the perfect photo? Photography has been around since the early 1800s, and wars, of course, much longer than that. Before photography, wars were reimagined on the canvas, heroic paintings created by artists who weren't there, many times completed long after the battles were over. But when people started to photograph war, these images helped bring the realism and the horror of it to the world, to people living far away from the conflict. These images had an immediate impact on how people saw war. One of the first major wars that was covered extensively by photography was the American Civil War. There were other war photographs before, but nothing like the coverage that the Civil War received. These pictures documented the soldiers, both living and dead, in one of the bloodiest conflicts in history. The camera technology at the time couldn't capture action. No bullets flying, no soldiers running, but it could show the impact and the consequences of war. One person at the time even compared the work of famous Civil War photographer Matthew Brady to having the actual bodies of deceased soldiers laid at the front doors of the public. With the growth of war photography and the knowledge that it can influence the public, it soon got the attention of the American government. During World War I, many photographs were censored, some because the government didn't want to give away troop movement, but many because they didn't want the photographs to negatively impact morale back home. World War II saw both the Allied and Axis countries using photography as a propaganda tool. America wanted to show the heroic American soldier doing good across the world. Nazi Germany wanted to show the world something too, how well they were treating prisoners and how life wasn't changing negatively in the countries they occupied. Both countries continued to censor images that could possibly lower morale. It might not have been until the Vietnam War that Americans once again saw the horror of conflict. The images that were sent back were not censored or screened. The world was once again exposed to the reality of war and told the truth about what was happening in Vietnam. Pictures appeared on the cover of Time and Life magazines and on television screens around the world. So it's not a surprise that back home, the war was not thought upon as popular. Today, war journalists and photographers are as important as ever. In an internet era, a world with instant communication, they can show what's happening in almost real time. We can see the tragedy that happened yesterday, or the heroism from the night before. Photographers today are putting themselves on the front lines of violence around the world in a fight to bring you the truth. What you do with that truth, well, that's up to you. To see more photography that's influenced the world, check out this episode on the
There was no real competition. Dali was a painter, an artist, and my father was a photographer. Dali never really wanted to photograph. Philippe never really wanted to pick up a paintbrush.
But together they collaborated and made the most outrageous pictures. Dali had a special connection with Philippe. They wanted to forge something new together. Dali was always full of wild ideas, so Philippe had to really use his imagination and creativity. Philippe would direct Dali, and Dali was very glad to oblige. It was a true collaboration that lasted 37 years.
Mr. Haussmann?
Yes?
Could we see one of your portrait sittings?
You know, it's strange how a simple question can sometimes lead to a most complicated answer. First, I have to find out the purpose of the picture to know what facet of your personality I have to photograph. A true photographer wants to try to capture the real essence of a human being.
He photographed everybody. Philippe did 101 live covers, more than any other photographer. Dali loved attention. He always came in the studio in a beautiful blue pinstripe suit. He was very dapper, and I thought he was very handsome. Dali had a show in a gallery in New York, and the most important painting was Leda Atomicus. Philippe studied it and said, "But why do you make her Leda Atomicus?" Dali said, "Well, I am a man of the atomic era, and I should be a painter of the atomic era." The word atomicus is to have everything in suspension. So my father said, "I see. Well, I'd like to make Dali Atomicus. Let's think about what we can have suspended." Dali said, "I have an idea. Let's take a duck and put some dynamite up his derriere and blow him up." And my father said, "Oh no, you can't do that. You're in America. You might get arrested." And Dali said, "Oh, okay. We won't use a duck. What should we use?" They thought a while and they came up with 3 cats and some water. My father took invisible wires and hung the easel, the little stool, and the picture of Leda Atomicus, and my mother held the chair. Philippe would count to 4. 1, 2, 3, and the assistants threw the cats in the water, and on 4, Dali jumped. My job at the time was to catch the cats and take them to the bathroom and dry them off with a big towel. My father would run upstairs where the darkroom was, develop the film, print it, run downstairs. He said, "Not good, bad composition. This was wrong, that was wrong." It took 26 tries to do this. 26 throws, 26 wiping of the floors, and 26 times catching the cats. And then there it was, finally, this composition. Not only did Dali act as a protagonist in the picture, he also painted on the photograph. Philippe cut it out, and it was collaged in. The idea of having everything in suspension was so difficult because everything had to be done in one single shot. That was an incredible part of their collaboration. In 1948, there was no Photoshop. How are you going to suspend things? And Philippe and Dali figured out a way.
So, as you heard the last sentence, that there was no Photoshop, and they did this, at that time. I'll just show one more last, I think, and then we'll go back to something else.
Un bison, c'est tellement puissant comme animal. C'est un animal très gros, très massif. Finalement, on se sent tout petit face à la puissance que la nature peut avoir. Quand on l'a à quelques mètres devant nous, qu'on l'entend souffler, quand il nous regarde, c'est une intensité incroyable. Ça procure des frissons. Avec un ami, vers l'âge de 10-11 ans, on a construit une cabane dans un arbre, tout simplement. Et on a observé, juste en face de cette cabane, des lapins. Et on les a observés avec des jumelles. Moi, j'ai emprunté celle de mon père. Et la passion de la nature, je pense, est vraiment venue comme ça. Mes premières photos étaient des photos très documentaires. Et donc, j'ai essayé de mettre plus d'espace entre moi et l'animal, pour avoir plus de respiration dans les images, pour avoir quelque chose de plus construit. J'ai essayé de mettre plus d'importance à l'environnement, au jeu de lumière, qu'à l'animal même. Je préfère faire une photo d'une petite mésange tout bêtement dans un super bel environnement que de faire un oiseau très très rare dans finalement une lumière ou un environnement qui serait pas très très beau. Il y a des moments où quand on fait des photos, où l'atmosphère, où la lumière est belle, où le moment en fait est tellement calme qu'on a juste besoin de se poser, d'être en accord avec l'environnement. C'est des moments de sérénité où en fait on attend juste, sans forcément voir le temps passer, où on est complètement déconnecté, où on fait attention à plus rien d'autre qu'à la nature et à ce qui nous entoure. Et ça, c'est cool. En Europe, depuis presque 200 ans, il n'y a plus de bisons sauvages. Actuellement, en Roumanie, il y a la WWF qui est en train de réintroduire donc, des bisons à l'état sauvage. Depuis ce projet, je suis vraiment impatient d'aller les voir, parce que maintenant, dans notre société, c'est tellement compliqué de pouvoir protéger la nature. On a l'impression que les gens, finalement, pour eux, la nature, c'est complètement à part de leur vie, alors que ça forme un tout. Et je trouve ça vraiment important, ce genre de projet, d'initiative pour notre futur, pour nous, tout simplement. Les Carpates, c'est une région de la Roumanie que j'ai jamais vue de ma vie. Et je voulais vraiment y aller pour voir donc, ces espèces de montagnes à perte de vue remplies de vieilles forêts. Et c'est un peu un mythe en fait. Quand j'arrive à un endroit pour la première fois, donc on ne sait pas trop par où commencer, les premiers jours où on va faire la route, ça nous paraît toujours très très long. On se dit, on marche depuis des kilomètres et des kilomètres, on peut se dire peut-être qu'au prochain virage, on verra le bison, il sera juste là. Ou peut-être que non, et qu'il sera seulement à 5 km où on doit encore marcher beaucoup. Et donc c'est un peu un jeu entre le chat et la souris, où on essaye un peu de le trouver, lui essaye peut-être d'un peu nous éviter. Je pense que la patience, c'est une des principales choses à avoir. Sans patience, c'est pas possible de voir des animaux. Si au bout d'une demi-heure, 1 heure, on en a marre et on veut sortir de l'affût, c'est juste pas possible. Il faut généralement plusieurs heures pour en fait se faire oublier de la nature. Et ça prend énormément de temps, parfois peut-être 1 semaine pour finalement un jour où on va pouvoir faire des photos, parce qu'on saura exactement où est-ce que l'animal va sortir. Quand je suis en voyage et que ça fait 1 semaine ou 1 semaine et demie que j'ai fait aucune photo, je me demande mais pourquoi je suis là? Est-ce que je serais pas mieux chez moi, entouré de ma famille, à aller voir mes amis, que d'être frigorifié dans mon affût? Quand les difficultés s'accumulent, ça doit pas être un frein, ça doit être une motivation supplémentaire, parce que justement, peut-être que le jour juste d'après, tout va changer. Vu que la nature est tellement imprévisible, on peut passer 2 semaines, 3 semaines sans rien voir, et puis boum, le jour arrive où on va faire 2000 photos. Quand on attend et que l'animal arrive, quand on voit l'animal dans notre viseur de notre appareil photo, ça provoque tellement d'émotions, c'est tellement intense comme moment. C'est un moment qui va durer peut-être 30 secondes, 1 minute, parfois 5 minutes grand maximum sur presque une journée d'attente. Mais une fois que ce clic est fait, toutes les difficultés s'évaporent. On a finalement ce micro-instant de vie qu'on souhaitait. Et j'étais finalement privilégié parce que j'étais tout seul à voir cette scène-là. Et le clic final, c'est ce qui clôture tout ça. Et ça, c'est génial.
Okay. So you've seen 2-3 different kinds of photography: wildlife photography. You've seen the war photography, and you've seen the nature landscape kind of photography also. Now each one required patience. You see, the only thing there was a lot of energy was when she was shooting the ballerina kind of thing. I can share lots of different videos, but that's not the point. Was that now you look at your own work, what you have done in 2 days. You had 2 days and you had to take 15 to 20 pictures. Most of you have taken only 6 to 8 pictures, and also a lot of you have written yourself, and a lot of you have shot yourself, which is the easiest way out. So I'm just trying to think is that why don't you put or think about it. What can I shoot? Which is all around you. I mean, if somebody puts me in a even a kind of a 6x6 room kind of cell, I can easily shoot some interesting 20 pictures. It's not a big deal about that. It's about how do you shoot it with the close-ups, with angles, and now you have Photoshops and things like that. You saw that Dali picture, which was amazing, where the 4 people were involved, and the cat and daughter and Dali himself, and the paintings were hung. And 26 tries that guy did. And he's amazing photographer. He shot more than 100 covers of Life magazine. Can you imagine? So I'm not saying all of you want to be probably photographers, or probably none of you want to be photographers. But photography always will remain a major thing for anything you want to communicate. Even if you want to make a film, let's say tomorrow, feature film or an advertising film, you will have to know how to draw a little bit, and you will have to know a picture, because picture will give you a reference. And for reference pictures, and you can create lots of things. So people who are interested in animation, so all of platforms are coming together. They are all working together. It's not earlier, things were separate. But now, like in your phone, everything is coming together. You can have different kind of apps which helps you do all kinds of things. And your phone does everything. It transfers money. It calls people. You can create videos. You can get to know even now your blood pressure. So it's a convergence of various platforms coming together. So I feel this particular course should help you out with how to tell a story, whichever discipline you are interested in. I'm not saying that you might be interested in doing only storytelling by photographs. That's just way of thinking. I think it's you have to train yourself how to think. Which photograph will look nice with which? These 2 pictures, when you put it on the same page together, you have to think about it. You can't just randomly put it. One is to just that you have to finish this course, get 2 credits, and get this many marks. That's a one way of looking at it. But if you really want to do something, it's like I showed my project working in more. That was part of my assignment, and that assignment, after so many years, in year 2000 to 2003, there's a Dutch professor came to me and he saw my photographs and he said, why can't we work together? And we did this book, and the book is published in 2 different universities, Oxford University and Amsterdam University. And that exhibition took me all around the world. This was shown in America, it was shown in Holland, shown in, of course, Ahmedabad, in various places. So I'm saying that it's just a small assignment which I started with has taken me all over the world. So take it little seriously. I find some of you are not serious. I don't know why. Probably you have other priorities, but I find right now, in fact, you must be bored because you are sitting at home. I mean, if you were in college, you have lot more thing to do. Now you can't go to bars, you can't go to discos, you can't go to even friends' place probably. So why not? This is a perfect opportunity for you to try and explore as much as possible to do this assignment. Now, next assignment, tomorrow you don't have to do anything, but tomorrow you have to just tell me some ideas. Write down just 2-3 lines, that's all. 2-3 lines, nothing else. So from now to tomorrow, you have to finish whatever you have done and you have to submit from the feedback which we have given. That is the assignment 1 and 2. I'm sorry, 1 basically. 1, so you've done the group assignment that you have already done. The number 2, which has the sequence wala assignment and your But this is the third and final assignment. Based on this is the maximum mark also. You must have seen your paper, which will be your final day. You will have to, basically we will be judging on a final day. Today I am just telling you, so you start thinking about it. You think of 2 to 3 ideas. Yeah, 2 to 3 ideas. Minimum 2, maximum 3 ideas. And what you need to do is, like I've written down here, select any person, craft, situation, shop, event, story in or around your home and shoot a document. So you understand this. Again, I'm reading it. Select any person, craft, situation, shop, event, story in and around your home and shoot a document. So you need to do this. It's almost like you have to create a kind of book. You have to create a 20-page book or 30-page book or 30 slide PowerPoint or something like that. So it's like a proper assignment which tomorrow you have to do, which in Nirma last time when I did it, each student had got one big board which it is, and they had printed out things and they had pasted it. Some people projected it, some people created a book which is like a piano fold and put it on a table. So different people did different things with presentation. But because we are online, what we are going to do is make a PowerPoint presentation with these images, or you can create a video also out of it. So take the pictures and make a video out of it. Video in the sense, it just, pictures are moving little bit here and there. You know, it's going zoom in, zoom out, or it's dissolving from one to another, a thing like that. And anytime you don't understand anything, please ask me or Karina. Yeah? Don't sort of say, oh, we didn't get it, we didn't understand it. Don't say that. If you don't understand, just let me know.
Yeah, so for what he just mentioned here is not capturing a video. You're supposed to, again, I'm just repeating so that there's no confusion. Otherwise, we probably have video submissions from a couple of students. You don't have to submit a video. They need to be images. And then using those images for a presentation format, perhaps you could make a video of it. Okay, but they don't treat that as an image.
Yeah, these are all still images. It has to be still. With the still images, you can use some movements, which is in your video apps allows you to do it. But it is basically, so if you want to write something, you want to read something out, you want to put some kind of music behind it, all that you can probably do if you create a video. But if you don't want to create a video, you want to just do PowerPoint presentation, that's also fine. If you want to create a book, I don't know if you have a printer at home, you can create a book, but they send PDF to us and keep a book for yourself. Assignment objective is basically to observe and capture images, that is photographs, which can, when put together, can communicate a message or story and inform about the subject. So let's say if you are doing a craft, but there is some shoemaker next to your house, and you want to, just document him. It's a kind of documentary photography. Who he is, where he stays, who all lives in his house, how he comes, what kind of equipment and tool he uses, how he opens his shop, what does he worship, is there anything in his shop where there are some photographs there, I don't know. So you have to capture the entire life story of that person, if that is you want to do. And so somebody who is not gone there can get the entire idea of that person's life. So you are documenting a person, or you are documenting entire, how would I say, something to make. Let's say making a pot. So how potters do that? Some of these things might not be possible for you because it's Corona time and you might not be able to go out much or whatever it is. But if you can go out, then try and do that, keeping, of course, mask handy and not you maintaining a self distance. So give me 2 or 3 ideas that, sir, I want to do these 2 things. Out of these 2, which one do you think it will work? So I will tell you which might be possible, which might not be possible for you, because now that I have seen, not that I know all of you so well yet, but some of the work I have seen of you. So I know some of you very well now already, some of you I don't know so well, but I will be able to say, oh, this is not going to be possible, because somebody will come and say, oh, my uncle is in ISRO and I want to go and shoot in ISRO. Space, shuttle is they are building and I want to go and do this. I'll say, sorry, you will have to probably take a lot of permissions and your uncle might know, but it's not going to be possible. Forget, we don't have so many days. So leave it. I'm just giving a very weird kind of example. But anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is that give me 2 or 3 ideas and we will select out of that and we'll discuss so that all of you will also know that what kind of ideas people have. You might get some more ideas. And I'm going to show you tomorrow some work by NID and probably some Nirma students' work also I have. I'll dig it out and show that what they have done it. Also some examples of creating different kind of videos through images. Like, because Krina said very rightly, it's not about video. Yeah, video is just a medium at the end for presentation. It is for presentation of a still photographs. That's about it. So, any questions till now? Nobody has questions, so that's amazing. Everybody knows everything?
So make sure you're writing down and working on your ideas today, because tomorrow there'll be a lot of one-to-one sessions. Is that right, sir? Tomorrow the students. Yeah. So after sir will make the presentation tomorrow, there will be time for you to. He's going to be available, and you better have questions, because all of you will have to present your ideas, or in which direction are you thinking.
So I think what I'm going to do now is either Vaidehi or Sakina or Sakshi, one of you, just tell everybody what I said. I just want to know whether you understood that this is what we are going to do. Just imagine some people are not there and one of you are like a CR and you are telling your classmate what I have said. Who is going to take over? Somebody has asked me how many number of capture. I think, like I said, 30 pictures you should have at least. 25 to 30 pictures you should have. Yeah, somebody was saying something.
30 will be the ones that you'll finalize, but they should click more images out of which they will finalize, right?
Yeah, you can take 300 and out of 300 take 30.
Yeah, so don't restrict yourself like, okay, these are the 30 pictures and they are my final ones. No, make sure you take more pictures. Yeah, because I think these are the things now we'll have to probably tell them, because you'll just expect 30 final.
Normally when the books happen, or a film shoot happens, like if you even go and see these films of Karan Johar type films, they shoot 4 times. While everything is written down, every shot is written down, still they do 4 times. You can actually make 4 films out of that. They reduce it to 2.5 hours or whatever it is, or 2 hours. But the documentaries like BBC, or just now you saw that film on wildlife, they must have been 30 times. So if it is a 10-minute film, 300 minutes must have been shot. So I'm just telling you, it's a kind of documentary which you are going to do. So 10 times you should have. So if you want to shoot 10 pictures, you should have at least not 10 times, but 5 times. 50 pictures you should have. Out of that you can select 10. So if you want 25 pictures, you need to have 250 pictures. Right? Unless you draw down every detail, then it's a separate issue. But that very rarely happens. And the way I've seen till now in last 3 days, not at least half of you are doing very lazy kind of work. Any questions? Okay, so Sakina, why don't you tell people, or Vaidehi, one of you, Tell them what I've told them. Because probably my language they don't understand.
So by tomorrow we have to come up with 2 or 3 ideas for the next assignment. So basically, we have to document like a person or some event, like something, some process, and we have to capture it in 25 to 30 photos, and we have to make the documentary out of it. And for the presentation, we can make a video out of it, or it can be a simple presentation like we have done so far.
So it could be a shop, event, some person. It could be your grandfather for all you know. Your boyfriend for all you know, your girlfriend for all you know. I have no idea. But it has to be interesting. You can't just go and say, oh, he's sleeping, he's eating, he's drinking, he's bathing, he's brushing, he's nail cutting. That's not what one wants. Yeah? That I can shoot it in 15 minutes and finish it off the job. This is going to be 3 days assignment. So you have to be careful about what you are thinking about it and how it is going to be different. And not typical shots like मैं सो गया, मैं उठ गया, मैं रो रहा हूँ, मैं हंस रहा हूँ, not like that. Yeah?
And it cannot be you.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
That cannot be you at all.
That assignment will be rejected.
Okay? So, from now to tomorrow morning, you have things to complete. So, whoever is very happy, they can go to sleep. The rest of them, do some more work and try and finish it off and submit it as if next year when I show it to Nirma students or NID student, I can say, wow, Vaidi, he has done this work made from Nirma, and this is the work, you should see it. Like that. Okay? And of course, Sangeeta loves to see all the work. So I'm going to show it to her also. Yeah?
Yeah, we can also do a digital exhibition at the end of it and, have...
Yeah, no,
why not?
In fact, she was asking me. She said that we'll have a digital and it will be shared with everybody, including Mr. Singh. Mr. Singh, who is the Nirma, whatever, chairman or whoever.
Yeah.
So, so he wants to, we'll share with him also. So now it's up to you.
So there are ways to even conduct that.
Okay.
Whoever wants to take that responsibility can go ahead, suggest. There are ways to put up digital exhibitions. Go do your, show us your research skills and tell us how can that be done. And you
if somebody
your image. Yeah.
Yeah, some
It's
technological.
It's a digital experience. So do your research on that.
So if some techie person knows some other way to do it, please suggest, because that will be nice. So Ankit or somebody else who has done some work like that, who is more interested in technologically challenge to take up and do something. The app, some different kind of app maybe. Okay. So that's it for today, Reena.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay then.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.